Welcome to St. Joseph Media Network. I'm your host, Peter Karutz, and today we have a very special guest, or shall I say guests. We have, no less, the ambassador to the Order of Malta to Palestine, Michele Bowe, and we have Mike Heck, the Catholic Man of the Year. Welcome to this program. I'm sure people are wondering, what in the world is your title and where are you doing your work?
Well, my title is ambassador. I serve as the ambassador from the Sovereign Order of Malta to Palestine. And so I do my work in Palestine, and I also live in the United States, so I go between the two. And it is a region right now in great need, and the eyes of the world are clearly focused on Palestine, and our work is throughout the country, but we are very focused on Bethlehem.
You know, I know there's a lot going on there at this time, and there's all kinds of different political positions that we could talk about and debate. And frankly, there always are problems there, but that's not what we're here to do today, and I don't think that's what your organization does.
Well, you know, the Order of Malta, of which Mike is a member, is over 900 years old. And we serve to reduce suffering in the world and to sanctify not only our souls, but those of whom we serve. The Order of Malta is neutral, it's apolitical, and it's sovereign. We have diplomatic relations with 114 states.
Wow.
We have a seat at the UN, we have a seat at the EU, and we practice what's called humanitarian diplomacy. We are there to merely make life better for people who are living in poor circumstances, people who are sick, and we are there to alleviate their suffering.
And we're going to talk about that. You're just going to be intrigued at what is going on in Bethlehem in a maternity hospital. But before we do that, Mike, you are a Knight of Malta. Tell me a little bit about how you were drawn into it, and what it's done in your life, and how you've been able to connect with the world, really.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. As you know, and again, I've been on the program with you in the past, I've just been incredibly blessed to be surrounded by so many good people and confirmed in my faith by those good people, and of course I try to do the same thing. One of the ways I've been confirmed in that is by being a participant in the Order of Malta. And it's such a benefit to do that because there's so many things that we do in our faith, in our church, that are local. And local is good. You know, we have to take care of the person next door. We have to take care of the person in our parish. We have to take care of the food pantries and all kinds of the things that happen day to day here locally. But we also need to think globally, and the Order of Malta allows that to happen. All the things that the Order deals with, as Michele said, ambassadors to 114 countries, humanitarian aid to about 120 countries, gives us a feeling and an understanding of what else goes on out there other than our own little part of the world. And I appreciate that a lot, because so much of what Michele brings, just about what's going on in the Middle East, is such a great perspective of what really happens there. And the point is, as you said earlier, it's not so much political, but it's about how it touches people's lives and how we're supposed to be a part of that. So I'm so grateful to be a part of that. I'm fortunate to, with my wife Phyllis, to have visited the Holy Land, as I know you have too. Michele's there regularly, even in these times. As a diplomat, she's able to get in and out a little easier than the rest of us. But walking the walk of where Jesus walked and seeing the land that he lived and how he lived and how the people lived at that time and today brings the gospel alive. And that's one of the primary missions of the Order of Malta, is to bring the world closer together, to show love and hope to all of each other. And again, the Order of Malta, again, takes care of things locally, but again, globally, there's really three major ministries. One is taking the sick to Lourdes, France, to pray for their healing. The other is this humanitarian aid in currently about 120 countries. And the third is this ministry that was given to us by Pope John Paul II, that he asked us to come in and take over this hospital and run it, which we, as the order, then turned into a maternity-only hospital just steps from where Jesus was born.
And I was in the Holy Land, my wife and I, and we went to various sites, gift shops even, right? But I'll tell you what struck me, and then maybe I'll ask you to fill everyone else in on it. We knew where we were going to go the next day or 2 days from now, and that was to get a tour of the Holy Family Hospital. And I got to tell you, so many people would come to us and say, I was born there. My children were born there. We had a terrible pregnancy issue, and my child was saved there. And some of these people were Christian. Many of them were not. But universally, there was a great love and appreciation that they had for the hospital, but more importantly, a love they felt from the hospital.
Absolutely. You know, Holy Family Hospital is a touchstone in Bethlehem. We deliver 70% of the babies. Most people were either born at the hospital, or they've worked there, or someone in their family works there. It's usually someone's first and last place of employment. We have an all-Palestinian staff, 220 direct or indirect employees. We have 71% women employees. 50% of our staff are refugees. 50% of our patients are refugees, and 21% of our staff are refugees. So we mirror the people that we serve. And we provide about 150,000 services annually. We have a mobile clinic that goes out to the periphery to serve those at the edge of society, the Bedouin community, the people in isolated villages, and we bring a world-class pediatrician and a obstetrician gynecologist, a nurse, and we take care of their needs. And we go to the same places each day so they know when to expect us, giving them not just sanitary health care, but what we do is we give them hope and we give them love. They feel safe. And the older women who are experiencing the change in life, they can come to us for menopause care. We have the only dedicated menopause clinic in the region. And let me tell you, when these women come to our mobile clinic, they walk onto the van and they feel a little bit small and maybe a little afraid. And when they walk out of the clinic from their visit, they're about 3 inches taller and their shoulders are straight, and they feel so important because for a brief moment in time, the world stopped for them because they matter and we care, and we gave them exactly what they needed. And I just think that's so beautiful.
You know, analogies always suffer because they're not quite right. But I do remember being a young man many years ago. I was in Chicago and I was going to a party, and it was cold, as it always is in the winter, and snowy, and snow on the ground, and I had to park blocks and blocks away, and I'm not happy. I'm cold. I'm you know, the kind of cold when your hands hurt, and I'm not in a partying mood, if you will. But I got close to the house, and I could hear music. It was starting to change my mood, and then the door opened, and I saw lights, and I was greeted with a smile, and before a word was said, I was happy.
Yeah.
That's what. When I went to that hospital, that's how I felt. It wasn't so cold outside, but I was smiling. There was a change in atmosphere almost.
It is. It's really like entering into the kingdom. And all the strangers are welcomed, although the reality is nobody is a stranger. In Bethlehem, they've been there with their families for 2,000 years or more. But again, the world stops for a mother who is going to have a baby, or for a young woman with a prenatal visit, or a baby with a sick visit, and everybody is just welcomed as if they were Christ. We see the face of Christ in our patients. Even though our staff is an ecumenical staff, we have Muslim staff members, we have Christian staff members, but the ethos of the hospital is the best for the poor. We welcome the stranger, and we treat everybody as we would treat Christ. And you know, the Holy Family, as we all know this story, delivered their baby in the presence of animals. And today at Holy Family Hospital, we're keeping our promise to Pope John Paul II, and we are promising that no woman will ever have to deliver again in the accompaniment of animals. And I believe in return, we get the very best medical outcomes. The Holy Family, I think, really ensures that the premature babies born at our hospital who weigh 1 pound, who look so incompatible with life, 3, 4, 5 months later, they go home and they're a little bit chubby and they look great. And it's a miracle, not just the miracle of life, but the miracle of care, that we appreciate life and we protect and champion life no matter how small. We give the care and we don't count the cost.
When we hear statistics, the chances of having an issue in pregnancy are X percent, maybe small. If there's a premature labor, well, there's 50% chance there could be an. Well, you know what? All that is meaningless when you're the one, because
Absolutely.
Your possibilities are either good or bad. 100%. It's just yes or no. And it seems like this is a place where the data doesn't mean much. The toggle switch, yes or no, is still an unknown, but there's confidence in your facility.
Well, there's hope and there's faith. And I'll have to say, I've learned so much about my faith from the doctors, the nurses, the cleaners, the coffee makers at the hospital. They're just so infused with faith. And I remember this one child who was born, and it was, to me, not being a doctor, this child looked to me like this was really a child that could not survive. And I just held my breath and prayed. And after the doctors finished getting the baby all intubated and admitted, and I asked the doctor, and he said, Michele, in 12 hours, we'll evaluate. And in 12 hours, and every 12 hours, I was checking on the baby. And the next thing I knew, the baby was becoming kind of pink and things were looking to turn the corner. And I said to the doctor, can you believe this? I just can't believe how well this baby is doing. And he said, Michele, God is the author of life. And we can't force a miracle and we can't prevent a miracle. And so we just work as the agents of life. And we do our best. And especially now with this war, 90% of the workforce is without salaries. The nutritional status of women is quite low. We have so many premature babies, but they work tirelessly, the staff, and they just have wonderful outcomes. In a little town of Bethlehem, their outcomes for infant mortality, maternal mortality, babies coming out of the NICU in great neurological condition, they parallel major US and European cities. To me, that's a miracle. It's not just the miracle of life, but it's the intervention of the Holy Family, making sure that in this little town where Jesus was born among the animals, that we get to see these everyday miracles of life.
And I'm sure we're all feeling the congruency, I almost said irony, but the congruency. This hospital, Holy Family Hospital, is in Bethlehem.
Yeah.
If someone would like to see this hospital or learn more about you, I imagine you have a website where they might be able to see pictures and stories. Could you share that with us?
I call it an armchair pilgrimage. Right now we can't go on pilgrimage, but I invite you all to come on pilgrimage as soon as the time is right. But in the meantime, go to www.birthplaceofhope.org, birthplaceofhope.org, and you can spend some time browsing through our newsletters, seeing our videos, and you'll just feel like you've been transported to this place of so many miracles that magnifies hope without regard to creed or need. And if you're just having one of those days that you need to be uplifted, come to Birthplace of Hope and feel the love, feel the joy, and feel the hope of Bethlehem.
I think you might smile when you go to that website and just have a heart that's warmed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Thanks for all the work that you're doing. Mike, thanks for being part of this organization and really changing the world.
One baby at a time.
There you go. We'll see you next time.